Okay, you are live.
Okay.
Please continue.
All right. I'm starting from the beginning all over again. All right. Welcome. Hello, Love and Stuff community. So good to have you. Happy Thanksgiving. Those of you who do celebrate this as a holiday. So glad to be here with you all. Let me start off by saying how grateful I am, how thankful I am to Brother Marcus Holmes for in his visionary gifting, his great gifting as a visionary, who's developed this platform of love and stuff to be able to reach out to be able to touch people with love and stuff, a place where you can learn, where you can fellowship, where you can socialize, where you can meet people. And uh, just in a network of like-minded people. And so we thank God for him in the so many ways that he has and is creating an international social media network. From his visionary leadership, there are several different shows have been launched and spawned. We have Sports Talk with Kamal and Felix. Brother Kamal just hosted an hour show just before me for Thanksgiving Day. On Tuesdays, Dr. Edner, Valencia Edner, has her show, Thoughtfulness Tuesday, or something along that order. She's there inspirationally and hosting a show then. Marcus himself has a gratefulness journey that every day there's a place that he comes on and gives us that helps us focus on where places, where times are that we should be acknowledging gratefulness in our lives every day. And then, of course, on Wednesday, 6:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I host Love and the Scriptures from 6:00 to 6:30. And so I want to encourage you all, ladies and gentlemen, sisters and brothers, that throughout the week, there are opportunities for you to connect with the different kinds of things that are being shared and happening on the Love and Stuff platform. And then especially another visionary idea that has come from the mind of Marcus Holmes is this Thanksgiving Day platform. And so from 12:00 p.m. until about 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, this channel is open, and different members of the Love and Stuff community have volunteered their time to be able to come and to share with you and you, because everybody doesn't have family to be with on holiday. Everybody doesn't have somewhere to go on today. And so several people have volunteered their time. Some are even traveling and are other places, but have committed to give their time to other sisters and brothers to help you where you don't have to be alone on this holiday. This happens not just Thanksgiving, in another several weeks, a few weeks, the same thing will happen for Christmas, so that, again, people don't have to be alone for these holidays. What we do know is true, even though this is the Thanksgiving season, not just the holiday of Thanksgiving, but all the way extending through and into the new year is the Thanksgiving season. But it is one of the saddest seasons of the year, because the death toll rises dramatically from this season of Thanksgiving through the period of April. There are more deaths that are actually occurring during that time of year than any other time of year. And it's strange that that is true and that that's a reality, especially because this is a holiday, a Thanksgiving season. But what is true as well is that many people are at a place with loved ones, lost loved ones who have been gone on, and they don't have that company, that fellowship anymore. And what is even true recently, that people are losing loved ones. I'm thinking about one of my students that I have to get in contact with as soon as I'm done with this show, whose mother died a couple of months ago. First Thanksgiving that he and his family are going to spend without their mother. Got another friend there in Detroit whose father just passed away about 2 weeks ago. They just buried him about 2 weeks ago, or a little where in that time frame. These are people that I went to school with, still friends with them. But this is their first giving that they're going to have without their father too. And so Love and Stuff, this broadcast today, this platform today, is here in that event, that because there are those who will not be able to have the time with their loved ones that they've had before, because they are missing others, because they may not have anywhere else to go or anyone to be with and be around. This broadcast is here for you, ma'am. It is here for you, sir. And again, people have volunteered their time to be able to spend it with you. Sister Christina Smith started off this morning. Dr. Edner has been on already, Brother Kamal, and several others. I won't get to call everybody's name, but we're here to help you get through and to experience your holiday. I started off today, got up kind of late, not as late as I wanted to. I wanted to sleep in longer. I didn't get, just didn't, because I woke up, and usually once I'm up, then I'm up. But shortly after I was up, I had a service to go to, Thanksgiving service. And so I went to church today. Part of a giveaway, Thanksgiving giveaway on yesterday, and all the food, well, there was some food left over, and I brought a turkey breast home, or at least I got a turkey breast. The president of our organization insisted that we take things, and I left that turkey breast in the car overnight, and it basically thawed. And so I didn't intend to actually cook it. What I wanted to do is I wanted to take it to a butcher and get it sliced into steaks or chops. In Detroit, for the longest time, we've been serving turkey chops, which is slicing a frozen breast, into steak sizes or chop sizes, and either bake them or bread them and fry them. But anyhow, I had other things I had to bring in the house yesterday and last night, and just didn't get it in here. So I'm going to have to cook this turkey. And I also, what I actually had for me to be eating for today is some neck bones. And so after I got a couple of errands that I have to run, I have to check on my student to make sure he's got something to eat. But I'm going to come back and I'll be cooking turkey and neck bones tonight for dinner. Actually, this is going to be what I'll have for lunch for school next week. But anyway, that's what my part of my day is going to be like, and my menu. So let me finish the menu. It'll be rice and gravy with rice, the gravy that the neck bones will make, rice, black beans, and boiled sweet potatoes are what I'm going to have as dish for that. And I know somebody going to say, oh, you need some greens, you need some greens. I got some greens frozen in the refrigerator, so I'll probably have those greens. That it's frozen in the freezer, so I'll probably have those greens there. But happy Thanksgiving to you. Blessings on you. I pray that your day is going well, that you have found a reason to be thankful, and that you have not just acknowledged that internally, but that you have actually given thanks, and especially given thanks to God for the wonderful things he has done. And for you who may be struggling to find any reason or something to be thankful for, let me encourage you to think about just the basic and simple things. I remember when I was growing up at the True Faith Baptist Church in Detroit, 4919 Elmhurst, 2 blocks south of Livernois. I remember that the deacons would talk about very, very mundane and simple things that God had actually done, that if you carefully considered them, would be a reason for gratitude and gratefulness to well up in your soul. They would talk about how God woke me up this morning. And careful to remind that it wasn't the alarm clock, because if God didn't have your hearing intact and your mind connected to that, that the alarm could go off still and you not even be affected by it. But he woke me up this morning, they would say. The second thing they say is that he started me on my way. They would say that they had clothes or raiment to put on, and that they were thankful to God, that there was food in the cupboard, and even the fact that they had a choice of food, of things for them to be able to eat. They then reflected on the night before, and in their prayer, they would thank God, listen at this, that my bed, they would say, was not my cooling board. That's agrarian language, just to talk about the space that a dead body lay in before it was actually processed to be buried. They were thanking God that that's not what their bed was, because if you die in your sleep, your bed becomes what they called in the old days a cooling board. And then they would say, and I thank you that my covers were not winding sheets, those things that you wrapped or covered dead bodies in. And I'm saying all of this, sisters and brothers, just to say that the deacons at our church were careful to acknowledge, to think about the ways that God had done things for them and given them a reason to be thankful and to give him praise. And so for you who may be struggling, maybe you don't have your parents, or maybe you don't have anybody to be with or be around, maybe you couldn't go anywhere to make that happen, or whatever the situation that makes this day less than a happy holiday for you, you just think about the simple things that God has done, and as that a reason for you to be thankful, because indeed God is good, and all we have to do is to think in order to be able to thank him for the wonderful, for the great things that he has done. And so with that, let me say that I am far from a one-dimensional person, in that what I intend is that I'm well-rounded. I have a life of leisure and recreation. I have a life of socializing with people, with friends, with others. I have a life, a professional life. I work, and those things. I'm well-rounded, but the baseline, the foundation of the cornerstone of who I am is my faith. And so I'm a man of faith. I'm a spiritual person called into ministry as well. And the reason I mention that is to say then that whatever else I do in life, everything else is centered in the fact that I am a man of faith. And so with this today, the time that I have to be here with you, to encourage you, to whatever this time might be, to or for you, part of that has got a very serious spiritual element to it. And so what I want to do, I've pulled out a list of scriptures on thankfulness. And with that, I want to actually share them. And now this is a pretty good list. I'll tell you how many there are in this list, and I will not read them all together. But there's a couple, maybe three different kind of segments or ideas that I want to talk about while we have the rest of the time together that we do. And so what I want to do is, with these list of scriptures, I'd like to read a handful at a time, and then do whatever next part I want to talk about, and then read another few scriptures on Thanksgiving, thankfulness, and then do the other part that I want to talk about. And we'll see where the time is on the other last part that I want to do, and what scriptures, whatever scriptures that might be left for that. And so let me share then, in the spirit of thanksgiving to God. First scripture comes from First Chronicles 16, chapter 34th verse. And it says, "Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever." Colossians 3rd chapter 15th verse. "Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, since as members of one body you are called to peace, and be thankful." Colossians 4th chapter 2nd verse. "Devote yourselves to prayer, being watchful and thankful." 1 Corinthians 1st chapter 4th verse. "I always thank my God for you, because of his grace given you in Christ Jesus." Let me let that hold right there for now. And I'll, like I said, come back after I talk about the next things I want to talk about with a few more scriptures. Why scriptures, Reverend? So if you identify and understand me as Reverend, then understand as well that for me, in my worldview, that the Bible is primary and is principal in and to what I am, who I am, what I do, and recognizing the fact that the Word of God applies to all of life. And so, especially on a holiday that is centered around Thanksgiving, and originally that focus being to God, thanksgiving to God. And that's the last part. I actually want to talk about the originality of this holiday. But because that, of course, is true, then scripture, as much as and more than anything else, even more than food, the meal that we'll celebrate or have celebrated, scripture, which creates the cradle and context for our Thanksgiving, is fitting for us. And so that's why I wanted to give these scriptures, offer them to somebody. And then for the other reason, some people may not know how God is responsible for, or that God is responsible for. And so I give these scriptures to be able to help our focus, those who may need that, and to encourage those who may not know how the Bible, how the scriptures speak to the issue of Thanksgiving. If any of you happen to be on the Love and the Scripture show last night, the spot that I did, centered around, again, Thanksgiving, of course, too. But part of that was me talking about, I gave one of my Thanksgiving testimonies that this year, what has for my family has been our Thanksgiving gift, uh, I talked about my youngest sister, my mother's youngest daughter, and that how she was diagnosed in April of this year with multiple myeloma, and that that was something that greatly impacted our whole family. And it's something that, even though she physically personally experienced, it was a personal experience for all of us. My two brothers, my oldest sister, my mother's oldest daughter, and my mother. Even with me being here in Tulsa and they being there in Detroit, it was a heavy load to carry, because this is only the second time there's been a real major illness in our family, our nuclear family, or at least our those of us who grew up in the home together. My oldest brother, last year, 2021, was stricken with COVID-19, and though not hospitalized or experienced it to that degree, did go to the hospital, but was there, I think, maybe 3 days and then sent back home. Uh, but it was a 2 or 3 week process that he actually um, suffered this with the virus. And my mother and his wife and children nursed him back to health. But that was the first time any serious illness, any crisis illness was a part of our family. And then my sister this year being diagnosed with multiple myeloma. And so it was very serious for us, with us, because of those reasons. This is the second time we had actually dealt with anything on that order, but then because it's cancer, of course, in everybody's mind, cancer is the worst that you can actually think of, you can experience or get. And so it's because of that and the type of cancer, then it was serious for us all. Here's part of how the Thanksgiving of it went. That as sick as she was, and we could see it before we knew it, we could see that there was something. But the way she took through the prescription of chemotherapy and of stem cell surgery, and the stem cell part actually began the second round, where there were two different sets of treatment for chemotherapy that she actually took. The second was a stronger than the dosage than the first part. Anyhow, she went through those treatments famously and with extreme minimal reactions that the normal process of chemotherapy and treatment actually gives. And so it was such with her that two occasions, particularly, her doctors remarked how remarkable her treatment, how her body took to the treatments, how the process itself had actually done, and how it had not done her. And so that on its own was one of the great testimonies, and her faith through it all, the way she stood and the way she testified for God, how her life was a testimony for him. Even inspiring the doctors and nurses saying they want to come hear her sing after she's well again. But then here is the big thing. This is Thursday, 24th of November, literally exactly a week ago, and probably, well, no, it's a couple of hours later, but literally a week ago, she called me while I was in class. Extremely rare at all. But with her calling and with me knowing the condition, I had to take the call. The stem cell treatment is supposed to be, I think, 4 months, 3 months, that the house had to be completely sterilized. No company, no people coming in. She couldn't go out, a very restrictive diet, and a lot of other things. And so when she started that period, beginning that um, quarantine, I guess it legitimately could be called that. Um, it was to go through the end of December. She called me. No, it was to be a little longer than that. Well, I know for sure the end of December. Anyhow, she called me a week ago, and the news that she had for me was that the doctors had they told her, they reported to her that all of her numbers were very well up where they were supposed to be, and that the whole prognosis, or at that point, that everything was just as it should be. And they lifted her restriction a whole month early for her to be able to return to life as normal. That the um, her immune system had regenerated through the stem cell surgery, and so that she was in excellent condition. And that came, as I say it, at a time for me, which is in the Thanksgiving season. Um, that was our wonderful Thanksgiving gift. I guess that for the whole year, that's my gift for the whole rest of the year. So I bring all that up to say, I know I went all the way to Cleveland with that. Um, but I brought that up to say that I thought after I finished the show last night, I wanted to bring her on here to be able to share, a little bit about what her experience had been and how thankful she was to God for it all. And so I called her this morning and I told her that I wanted her to come on the show and ask if she would. She was like, "Oh no." Oh, no. And I was like, why? Why you don't want to come on? And her response to me was, let me see how she said it. I'm not ready yet for public, I'm not ready yet to be seen by public, is what she said. Because part of, yes, the treatment, I think I said she went through it with minimal effects. But about 11 days into the second round of treatment, one of the effects she did have was the hair loss. And I don't know yet, that would have been, I don't even remember all the dates and all those kinds of things, but I don't know where she is in that part of the journey. And that may be why, to my mind, that she declined because she is not ready to be seen by the public yet. But anyhow, I told her she's going to be on the show anyway, because I was going to talk about it. Even if she didn't come, I was going to talk about it, say that I asked her to come and that she wouldn't come. But her whole attitude and demeanor through this whole process has been one of a faithful testimony of somebody whose life is committed to a God that they trust. And so this Thanksgiving, I'm not home, not able to be home to be with them or anything like that. But you best believe I'm gonna be there next month. But I'm just so thankful to God for, obviously, what I consider in many senses miraculous healing. I remember Oral Roberts saying this after he built the City of Faith here in Tulsa, built the university, of course, but built the City of Faith, which is a hospital. That was oxymoronic to some people. It was kind of an opposing idea, because Oral Roberts makes his fame as a faith healer, and he prays for people, and that as God uses him, that people are healed because of his prayer. How would a man who's a faith healer, why would he build a hospital? I'll never forget his words. I love it. I love it to this day. It says, or Robert says that God does heal, and he also uses medicine to do it. And so I consider my sister's healing a miraculous healing, even though it was through medical processes, because The saints will know what I'm saying when I say it this way. It could have gone another way. And so we thank God that it went the way it went, that we are where we are, that he's done what he's done, and that we can tell the world that God still heals. And let me say this. I don't know who may be listening to this. I don't know who may be watching. I don't know what physical condition or any kind of condition that you may have. I don't know what you've asked God for. I don't know what you're believing God for. I don't know what you may be doubting God for. But I tell my sister's testimony so that you can hear and know that God still hears, that God still cares, that God still heals. And because those things are true, you can put your trust in him. Because God is still God, you can call out to him and ask him to touch, to heal your body. Let me go to another round of scriptures. First Timothy 4, verses 4 and 5. For everything God created is good, and nothing is to be rejected if it is received with thanksgiving, because it is consecrated by the word of God and prayer. 2 Corinthians 9th chapter 11th verse. You will be enriched in every way, so that you can be generous on every occasion, and through us, your generosity will result in thanksgiving to God. 1 Thessalonians 5th chapter, verses 16, 17, and 18. Rejoice always. Pray continually. Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. Then Philippians 4th chapter, verses 6 and 7. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Amen. And so, hopefully those scriptures have or will speak to you. And in a way, maybe a different way, maybe a new way, you will be able to have a different perch and a different perspective for Thanksgiving, and a different way to be able to talk to God, to be able to reach out to God, to be able to have a relationship with God. Some of you who are on here may not even know God. You may not have a relationship with God whatsoever. I'll tell you what I think, that out of all the times in the world, how wonderful it is that at a season of Thanksgiving, that one can come into relationship with the God who has made them and has kept them. How sweet it would be for those who may not know Christ and the pardon of their sin, that you can believe on Jesus in this Thanksgiving season, and that you can become a part of the family of God in this time for giving thanks. You know what? That's my prayer for some of us who may be here and do not know. For some of us who may be outside of the ark of safety, outside of the family of God, that this Thanksgiving will be the first one that you have come into the knowledge of and relationship with Jesus Christ, that this Thanksgiving will be the last one that you will be outside of the family of God. How wonderful would that be if that happened for you and you on today? That's going to be my prayer, that God uses this time, that something that said from earlier today at noon, starting with Sister Christina, going through 8 o'clock with whoever will be here after me, that something is said that the Holy Spirit uses to draw you to Jesus Christ, and that you become a child of God through this experience, through this time that people are donating, that people are volunteering and giving, that somehow in this exchange, that it's not just a mundane, that it's not just a regular broadcast, not just a regular social media experience, but that the Holy Spirit infuses the experience, that the invitation he makes touches your heart, touches your situation, touches you in a way that draws you to him. If that be the case, even if it's just one person, then this whole time that we have spent and volunteered and given will have the most meaning of all. If one person, one soul gives their life to Jesus Christ, Lord, may it be so. May it be. For the last segment of this time that we have together, I want to talk about Thanksgiving in terms of history, with the focus of meaning and the present. My idea that I've worked through for this time we've had together, and this is where I'll land, is on love and thankfulness. But to get to that, I want us first to I want to do a historical dive. Some of us have never known or understood where all of what we have as this holiday that you celebrated all of your life. Don't have any clue of how it happened, where it came from. So I'm going to take a piece of this historical event and show us where this begins. But then I want to put context to it. And you can find this Britannica.com, Google any of this. Britannica, one of the sources that my students often use, is one, but history.com is actually what I'll be taking this piece from today. Thanksgiving Day is a national holiday in the United States, and Thanksgiving occurs this year, Thursday, November 24th. In 1621, the Plymouth colonists and the Wampanoag, that's a native indigenous tribe, shared an autumn harvest feast that is acknowledged today as one of the first Thanksgiving celebrations in the colonies. This is the 13 original colonies before this becomes a country, a nation, colonies of England. For more than 2 centuries, days of Thanksgiving were celebrated by individual colonies and states. It wasn't until 1863, in the midst of the Civil War, that President Abraham Lincoln proclaimed a national Thanksgiving Day to be held each November. All right. So, just to comment on that part right there, Thanksgiving is only or just over 200 years old as observation in the United States of America. All right. It's almost 200 years old. So originally occurs, according to the story, in 1621, but it's 1863 that Lincoln makes it a national observance in November. Thanksgiving at Plymouth. This goes back to the origin. In September 1620, a small ship called the Mayflower left Plymouth, England, carrying 102 passengers. An assortment of religious separatists seeking a new home where they could freely practice their faith, and other individuals lured by the promise of prosperity and land ownership in the New World. After a treacherous and uncomfortable crossing that lasted 66 days, they dropped anchor near the tip of Cape Cod, far north of their intended destination at the mouth of the Hudson River. 1 month later, the Mayflower crossed Massachusetts Bay, where the Pilgrims, as they are now commonly known, began the work of establishing a village at Plymouth. Throughout the first brutal winter, let me skip down. Let me skip down because that's going to give a whole lot of stuff that I necessarily didn't want to bring into here. Yeah, let me say. Throughout the first brutal winter, most of the colonists remained on board the ship, where they suffered from exposure, scurvy, and outbreaks of contagious disease. Only half of the Mayflower's original passengers and crew lived to see their first New England spring. In March, the remaining settlers moved ashore, where they received an astonishing visit from a member of the Abenaki tribe, who greeted them in English. Several days later, he returned with another Native American, Squanto, a member of the Patuxet tribe, who had been kidnapped by an English sea captain and sold into slavery before escaping to London and returning to his homeland on an exploratory expedition. Squanto taught the Pilgrims, weakened by malnutrition and illness, how to cultivate corn, extract sap from maple trees, catch fish in the rivers, and avoid poisonous plants. He also helped the settlers forge an alliance with the Wampanoag, a local tribe which endured more than 50 years and remains one of the sole examples of harmony between European colonists and Native Americans. This last part, and then I'm gonna get to saying what I actually want to say about all of this. In November 1621, after the Pilgrims' first corn harvest proved successful, Governor William Bradford organized a celebratory feast and invited a group of the fledgling colony's Native American allies, including the Wampanoag, Chief Massasoit, now remembered as America's first Thanksgiving. Although Pilgrims themselves may not have used the term at the time, the festival lasted for 3 days. While no record exists of the first Thanksgiving exact menu, much of what we know about what happened at the first Thanksgiving comes from Pilgrim Edward Winslow. All right. So with that, Let me say this: love and thanksgiving, love and thankfulness. Let me say this to us. That is what the history of Thanksgiving is in America. That is the story that is given by Americans. That is the narrative that is known, and it is presented as a glorious, victorious, romantic American story. But I have to say to us that that is not the only story and account from that time. Because what we don't know mostly, but is more true than anything else, is that the experience of the pilgrims, Europeans coming to this country, far more than celebrating and fellowshipping with the indigenous peoples of this land, it was far more a negative, deleterious, deadly experience. There are a couple of tribes that have just been named in the narrative of what Thanksgiving is to America. But let me read to you a list of other names. Catawba, Beogoya, Acoplesia, Delaware, Kickapoo, Comanche, Chickasaw, Cherokee, Cheyenne, Apache, Abenaki, Navajo, Erie, Alaini, Huron, Iroquois, Pequot, Potawatomi, Nipmuc, Lakota, Oglala, Sioux, Sauk and Fox, Shawnee, Winnebago, Ho-Chunki, Mohegan, Machian, Menominee, Montaganes, Narragansett, Ojibwa, Ottawa, Susquehannock, Siskiyou, Blackfeet, and you've heard Wampanoag. What are these other names? Who are these other tribes, these other people? These are a list of some of the other tribes who met an extensive loss of their populations, some almost to extinction, and other tribes definitely into extinction. That when the European came, other than this glorious story of this holiday that we celebrate, which was a partnership among the European and the native, the indigenous people here, the other relationship, and mostly so, was a very dangerous one that resulted in the reduction of the native population. In estimation, some say that there were more than 200 million indigenous people on these shores when the European came, and that those numbers had been reduced to somewhere in the to 100 million because of the contact with the native. And so while Americans celebrate Thanksgiving, The native populations in this country remember an experience that almost exterminated them here. And so while we're eating turkey and whatever other things we have for dinner, let me suggest that in terms of love and thankfulness, number one, that we remember that there are people who live on this in this soil that don't share the experience that everybody else here shares. Remember the native people today. But then let me suggest to you as well that there are other Americans, people who look like you, who don't have any homes today in this holiday season, who don't have any food today, this Thanksgiving season. That as you consume those large meals and have the fellowship and fun that you have, that you not just think about, but you do something about those who don't have what you have. Because if you love your life and you love your experience of life, if you love America, there is a thankfulness that ought to flow out of that love, that transcends the space that in your mind is about what you have and your own experience. But that love, if you love yourself, if you love your life, if you love your country, there ought to be a love that exudes into thankfulness that causes you to want to share, to want to bless somebody else, to want to do good to somebody else. The opportunities abound for you to be able to do just that. The opportunities are great for you to be able to really share. The opportunities are endless for you to be able to give. And you may not have much. You may have a lot. You may not have much at all. But whatever you have, it's more than somebody else does. And so this Thanksgiving season, let love produce thankfulness that causes you to share, that causes you to give, to be involved, to express gratitude for what you have in the life of somebody else. Love and thankfulness, it should produce that. Love should produce thankfulness. Love and thankfulness. God bless you. All right. I'm at the end of my time, and it's been a good time. And my host is here, so the coast is clear.
That's right. And what an awesome day it has been. And I'm just so grateful, Reverend Darren Williams. I'm so grateful that there are people like you within the Love and Stuff community who sacrifice their time. And I love, and I was raising the same thing earlier, I love how you share with us that it's not only a celebration, but for many, it's a day of reflection and mourning, lamenting what they lost, lands lost, freedoms lost.
Right.
And we are not unfamiliar with the loss of land and freedom right. That our Indigenous brothers and sisters experience, especially. We understand that loss. And so in solidarity with them, it certainly is a bittersweet day because it is a day of mourning and reflection for many of them of what they have lost. And so right. I think it's excellent that you shared that with us. And in that spirit of thinking of others, I think it is just awesome that you thought enough of the Love and Stuff community to sacrifice and share your time, your talents, your wisdom, your treasure with those that, as you said earlier at the outset, who may not have someone to share the space and time with. And it is not lost on us that many people are eating alone or not eating at all. Many people, for various circumstances, not always circumstances that of their choosing,
That's right.
are not with family. And so if we're able to reach just one person that's passing by, or if someone goes back and watches it throughout this season where people are contemplating things like suicide and people are in depressive states, and then Love and Stuff will have accomplished what we set out to do to increase the amount of love in the world, if but for 1 hour.
Amen.
If but for 1 minute, one moment of sharing moments of wisdom or education or laughter, whatever was shared. So let me thank you on behalf of everybody in the Love and Stuff community and all of you that have come for your time, because you could also be with your family.
That's right.
You could also be with whomever you might desire to be with. And so I think it's a sacrifice of time, and it also helps to draw in those that are mourning a loss.
Yes.
Not everyone is an Indigenous person, but many people have lost.
That's right.
And experience loss, especially during this season of time. So I want to thank you, and thank you for doing double duty and being willing to do triple duty. I really appreciate it. And I'm really excited for what God is doing through you, especially with the love and the scriptures. And if anybody is listening and watching, I know that I'm looking on one of the pages. I'm trying to look across all pages, and the way that we are tonight, I can't see it all in one view. So bear patient with me. But Carmen Evans and Lynn Lipsey and Vicki Johnson Williams. And then there are people on YouTube who, I'm going to have to make sure that your YouTube channel is tagged, because they're like, who is that guy? And so I think many people are experiencing a separation in this season. And so our desire was to make them as connected as we feel to the Love and Stuff community. So if we've reached but one, and I think we've reached many more than one. So I want to thank you again. Thank you so much again.
Bless you, of course.
Amen.
All right.
All right. And I don't know if you're hanging around, but you can certainly hang around. I'm all for that.
I'm gonna stay on for a little bit. Yes, I am.
The more the merrier. I love it.
All right.
And so Darren was talking about gratefulness, right? And you will know that I am pretty intentional about gratefulness along a journey where I could choose, like maybe some of you, and maybe sought to choose at some points, that there wasn't enough to be grateful for. Having experienced loss of family members, mother, father, 3 siblings, loss of friends, one of my dearest high school friends, loss of status or stature on my job, where there was some attacks, I'm going to call them microaggressions, that resulted in a trip to the doctor. I will tell you that I relate to anyone who has experienced loss, so every loss is unique. The circumstances surrounding your loss are different than mine. The relationships that are impacted by your loss are and were different than mine. And I understand that. But I understand there's this common thread of loss, and not how people interchangeably use loss and lost, right? It's not something that we couldn't find. Some of you, if you sought out to find, could find that employer that let you go and laid you off, right? That's a loss. Some of you could find, and you're probably saying, I don't want to find them, but you could find that ex-boo or bae or ex-spouse, right? That you grieved the relationship. That's loss. Some of you still know your address, where you used to live, where they evicted you, or where you got a notice that your home was going in foreclosure. That's a form of loss, right? We all have experienced loss, but this common thread among loss is that it is a deficit. It is something that was priceless, sometimes more priceless than we knew when we had it, right? And that's how it works out sometimes. Isn't that the truth? But it's priceless, it's valuable to us, And we recognize when it or them or they or he or she is gone. It's the deficit of what you had experienced before, whether or not you appropriately evaluated it or gave it value, right? You know when you've experienced a loss or a deficit. And that experience, my friends, if you've walked through it, can be devastating. And you can choose to walk, sit, and even wallow in devastation if you choose. I am grateful that I had a mother who said, that's your right. You can sit in grief. You can wallow in grief. That's your right. And you can do it for however long you think you need to do it. But at some point, you got to make a choice as to whether I stay where I am or whether I also choose another option, which is to take an inventory of everything and everyone that I have left. And so that started this gratefulness journey upon which I walk today. And I can tell you, while it's a marvelous journey, it's not singularly focused on I'm getting to this place or destination where all things will be well at all times. No, it's a journey that has ebbs and flows. And I get to pick up as beautiful tools along the way, these gems and nuggets that I'm awakened to that help me to navigate the loss, the separation, the loneliness, the pain, the hurt, the anger. Those are real feelings. And gratefulness is a powerful feeling that helps you harness out of those feelings the good. Now, people say, is there good in loss? There is. And the good isn't typically that you lost, that you experienced a deficit. But there is also often, something that accompanies that loss, that deficit. Sometimes it's a lesson. Sometimes it's a blessing. Sometimes it's a lesson and a blessing. And each deficit, and if you haven't experienced any, I'm just going to invite you to keep on living. And when you experience it, realize that whatever it is that you are experiencing, is not the totality of your experience. That's a big lesson. And when you are going through it, it's a tough lesson because sometimes you love something or someone so much that you can hardly breathe without them. Anybody ever experienced that? Sometimes you love something or someone so much that it is so interwoven and embedded in your life's journey that you're lost without, you don't know how to navigate because it's a part of your everyday moments. It's a part of who you are. How do you pick up pieces when part of who you are becomes a deficit? It's tough to be sitting in it. But what you find is as you uncover and start to debride the wound, as you start to heal a little bit, you uncover that there was so much more that was than just the physical of what you experienced a deficit. It embodied something more powerful. He or she embodied something more powerful than you had ever counted. And that typically, my friends, is something that you never lose. Part of that for many of us are the museum of memories that we have of the home, of the relationship, of that special someone, that parent, that child, that sibling. And those are powerful deposits. They're in a repository of your brain. that you can tap into to recount and recall as you recover from your loss. I think it's important this time of year for you and I to focus on recounting so that we can recover. Some of the most powerful medicine that you need is in your brain, it's in your memory. If we could only, but in times of turmoil and loneliness, recount that we were never alone. If we could but recall it, if we could but recount it, we can get on the road to recovery. Recovery looks differently than when you think of recover. Oh, I'm going to go recover my car that was repossessed. And you could do that, right? But when recovery involves grief of a separation that is to be no more, recovery means putting you back in equilibrium, putting you back at peace where you were before the loss. That's the goal that I'm speaking about in recovery. To come to a place of equilibrium. I believe that there is peace and there is dis-ease. And dis-ease is when you are not at equilibrium. You're at disease. Dis-ease is when you're not at peace. When your body is not at peace with the operations of your spirit and your life, dis-ease creeps in, right? When your diet is not in alignment with your environment and your spirit and what DNA you've been handed down, dis-ease creeps in. When your mind is not in line with your heart and your spirit, and that spirit being in line with Holy Spirit, the true love that is, dis-ease creeps into your mind that says you're not good enough. You're not going to make it. You're not going to see the end of the year. This disease is going to take you out. This job is going to let you go. If you get let go, you'll never be anything. You'll be the laughing stock of your family. You're already the black sheep. All of these things become dis-ease when our mental is not in alignment with our spirit and heart, because the spirit man is desiring to be fed. And that spirit man is desiring to be fed from the quintessential love. And when that spirit is not fed, what gets into your heart is not pure. And normally what gets into your heart gets into your thoughts. And it brings about stress and dis-ease and an imbalanced mental state, an imbalance of peace. And if you're not at peace, you're at dis-ease. It's important, mind, body, and soul, that you craft for yourself a plan or follow one that's been laid out for you to have mental, physical, emotional, spiritual balance. So that when these times come that trespass upon that peace, you're able to recount, recall, and recover. I believe it to be true because I tried it. I understand what it is to not know what tomorrow looks like. And most days we still don't, right? But have you ever said, I really don't know if I can make it to tomorrow? Or you said, I don't see any future. I don't see things getting any better. I can relate to that position. And here's what I can tell you, is that in those times, I was sent almost an angel who said this to me, and I say it to you. What you're going in at this level, it's not the last level, but you'll never get to the next level, and I'm pointing up. You'll never get to the next level unless you hold on to the end of this level. If you let go, You don't automatically go up. You have to hold on so that you can get to the next level. And when you graduate to the next level, there are some things that you will shed because you have to fly higher and you need to pack lighter. I heard that in the psychiatrist office one day. And Christians sometimes don't go to psychologists or psychiatrists, right? But this was a visit that was more mandated. It was a mandated visit. I had to go. And this doctor said to me, now, your consternation, what you're experiencing is because you've graduated and your mind knows that you've graduated. Your body is fighting your mind because your body doesn't feel like graduation. Your spirit is restless because your spirit knows that you should be walking across the stage for graduation, excuse me. But yet you're standing there and you're stuck because all of your being is in conflict. Your mother has graduated. My mother at that time had passed away, probably 10 months before then. Your niece has graduated. My niece, who was like a daughter to me, Autumn, had graduated high school and was heading to University of Michigan, one of the top colleges in the country, maybe in the world. But do you know that you have graduated? You can never walk across that stage. You can never go to the next level if you're going to give up. No matter how tough it is. Even if you are listening to me, watching me, and there's no one there but you. You're not alone, and you must never give up. The next level requires for you to hold on. And in some cases, tie a knot in it and hold on. Hold on when the rope feels slippery. Hold on when you're not sure of your footing. And hold on by all means if you don't know what's at the next level. Because typically, your eyes haven't seen what's at the next level. You may have a glimpse of what you want to do, but if you really want to find out, show your plans to the quintessential love that is God. And he'll show you plans. He has plans for you. But how can we realize those plans if we give up? It felt like a sermon to me hearing that from that doctor. And I felt like I owed an offering because it was a good sermon. It was relevant for me, and I offer it to you because maybe you can't put your finger on this feeling that my mind is okay, but my heart isn't. My heart is okay, but my spirit isn't. And maybe you don't know anything about those. You just know something isn't right. Something doesn't feel right. And I'm just going to quit. I'm just going to stop. I'm just going to give up. I want to tell you, you will not always feel like you're in equilibrium, but you should always feel like you are worth being in the game, worth being a part of this great earth school that God has created. So I want to thank those of you that have been joining all day. I see one of my cousins, I invited cousins to come and join, and I think I gave them the link to come and join me live in the room because I want to share a little bit about what I hope is a second part of what I'm sharing in this next time. I get to close it out. I'm so excited for that. Thank you all. It's not at all saving the best for last. You've gotten the best, and here comes the rest. But I certainly wanted to share some things with you Thank you, cousin. I pray he will too. And I hope I sent you a link in the inbox. Click on the link so you can come talk to me. I invited cousins. There's Dana Moore, another cousin. Dana Moore, I'll drop the link if you tell me that you'll come on in Zoom. I want to talk about in this next segment, family. And I would love two of my cousins who just came in the room. Now, one of them, I didn't get a chance to tell her anything, Dana. So I don't know if you're still there. And sometimes when you call people's names, they disappear. But I wanted to have you come in. There's a link to join me live on Zoom. But you may be in a situation where, number one, you're in a situation where you want to give up. And you want to give up. There is no gratefulness journey for you. You've heard me talk about my book, and you've heard me talk about the gratefulness journey. And you're like, there's nothing to be grateful for. Listen, I was there in 2012, November, Thanksgiving Day, where I had decided I was not cooking a meal because there was nothing for which to celebrate. I had lost my dad, my three siblings, one of my best friends. My mother had lost two sisters back to back. And yet my mother said, you can be in grief, you can be upset, you can be angry, you got the right to do any of those. But you also must reserve the right to take inventory of and be grateful for everything and everybody that you have left. And the hairs on the back of my neck stood up. Here was a woman who had lost three children, buried three children, which isn't the norm, I don't think. Buried a husband, buried two sisters, among other relatives, but in a 9-year span, at that time in a 7-year span, buried all these people. And she's saying, be grateful for what you have left. She told me, go down there and cook dinner, and here's where you can go get a turkey at the last minute. Here's what you should do. And I did. And it turned out to be a wonderful holiday that I will not forsake. I gave her my word that every Thanksgiving that I would prepare dinner. I had returned home to caregive for her and did so not at the level that I wish I could have, but I tried my best for about 6 years before she transitioned. And so I have made it my business that I will always prepare Thanksgiving dinner for as long as I am here. And I will cook all the fixings that she cooked. And of course, I can't cook like her. And she never told her recipes. My mother wouldn't tell her recipe. She said, oh, it's missing a little of this. Oh, well, it tastes like it might need this. But she never said, put this amount in that and have these. She never gave a list. So I struggle with the gratefulness journey recipes, right? Because my mother just cooked. I can remember my Uncle Jay, bless his memory, coming over and saying, I drove all the way over here. This was before cell phones, just to see if you got a spoonful of dressing. And my dad would jokingly say, we ain't got none. I got 5 kids. We don't have none. But she always had some. And she was known for that, known for her baking, known for her German chocolate cakes, known for her macaroni and cheese. Known. My dad was a great cook, cooked in the service, known for his fried chicken, known for his fried green tomatoes, known for fried coon, anything fried. He could probably fry your foot and you would eat it. I picked up none of that fried. I barely fry and I barely bake. I baked a 7-Up cake for the holiday. Autumn said it was good. It wasn't sweet enough for her, but that means it was good because she has a sweet tooth that can never be satisfied. And so I cook from now on, right? And I want you to get from that when someone gives you wisdom on something, run with it and keep it going. And if it works for you, keep working it. So if I'm telling you that you're not alone and that you can connect with like-minded people who are by themselves during the holiday, but not alone because they're part of a community. And if that works for you, if you try it and it works for you, work it. Someone tells you, hey, with your income, you have a gross amount, you get 69% of your gross, I'm just making up numbers, as your net. And with that, 50% of that should pay your bills, 25% of that should pay you, 25% of that you should invest. If that works for you, work it. So if it works for you not to feel lonely in the sense that you're all by yourself in this world, if it works for you to connect with other like-minded people who just want to be in community and connect, if that works for you, work it. That would be the first thing I'm gonna tell you. Second thing I'm gonna tell you is family. Family is important. Family is important for me primarily, and family is more of who you welcome into your love space than who was born in it. If I would offer a definition, I'd say family is those persons that you welcome into your love space. Family is important. And you will have family members that don't see it the same way, and that's okay. Until they get that revelation, you keep just being who you are. But family is important. It's important that you let your family know how much you love them. That when you can, as often as you can, that you reach out to your family. As often as you can. Because family is important. I thought about that for a moment. Some of the family that I've welcomed into my space, my love space. One of them is a gentleman, an anointed and gifted musician who made his transition this past Sunday. His name, I'm going to say, is Leonard Maddox. And he hails from Chicago, Illinois. And this brother, from the day we met, has called me brother and been a great friend. He invited me, he and his wife, Julia, invited me into their love space. That was almost 30 years ago. And he is a poster of what family is, inviting family into your love space, people that you invite into your love space. I didn't get to say goodbye. I didn't get to say, I love you one more time. I didn't get to joke and laugh or have dinner or hang out as we did when we were much younger till 3 and 4 in the morning. No, but I knew that this love space was open for me, and I believe he knew that it was open for him. I paused there for a minute just to kind of pull it together, because when you have a deficit, it hurts. Even in pain, you you manage to muster some gratefulness. And I am grateful that our paths crossed, and grateful that he invited me in his love space. Growing up, I am the youngest of 5. And again, I've mentioned 3 of my siblings have joined the angels on the balconies of heaven, I like to say, and I envision them cheering us on. I do. I was just envisioning Stephen, Adrian, and Vanessa cheering us on. I envision them saying, that's pretty good mac and cheese, but you need to add this. Because my brother Stephen and sister Vanessa had almost mastered my mother's mac and cheese. But I'm the youngest of 5, and I'm what they call an oops baby. Around July of 1969, My parents, along with a few of my dad's siblings, other family, did a vacation in Canada. And about the time that they got back, a month or so later, my mom had this look, my dad said, she had this look on her face. And he said, oh no, oh no. And she said, Herb. He said, don't herb me. And she was pregnant. And the April of the next year, the 17th in 1970 at 10:32 p.m., here comes Marcus Ray Holmes, the fifth child of Herbert and Princess Irene Holmes. And being the youngest has its perks and has its problems. Of course, a perk of being the baby is that a lot of times your parents make your older siblings, because I had a sister 15 years my senior, a brother 13 years my senior, make the older siblings give you what you want. You get your way sometimes. You get a little bit of what they call babying, spoiled, a little bit. One of the problems can be that if your brothers and sisters are smart and you go behind them in school, that there is an expectation that you will be as smart, as studious, as well behaved as them. I don't know if I could say all three about all of them, that I was as or more, but I was aware that it meant something to be in my family. There was a belonging and an expectation and an awareness of our brand, of who we were, right? Because Holmes kids were smart and Holmes kids were clean, or at least supposed to be. And Holmes kids were well-mannered. And that was pretty much true of all of the Holmes kids. There might have been a detour here or there, but for the most part, that sense of belonging was so strong that more often than not, it shaped your thinking and behavior around what was acceptable to belong to your family. Now, I mentioned there were some detours, and no detour ever made you lose the love of your family. It might make you lose sitting down because you got a whooping, but it didn't make you lose the sense of belonging. I wanted to say that, and I paused there to say, family is important. What can you and I do to increase the sense of belonging of our family members? You know, we're living in a world where there are blended families. There are bonus dads, bonus moms, stepmoms, half brothers, half sisters, right? Some families where there are different dads in the same family, right? What can we do to ensure that everybody that's connected to our families feel as if they belong? Because family is important. And even if it is that uncle that you say takes one drink too many, or that uncle that flirts a little bit too much, he's still a part of that family. He still belongs. And this side of behaviors that lead to abuse and are detrimental to the mental, physical, emotional, or social well-being of an individual, he should still belong. Even the family members that we've labeled deviants, miscreants, whatever we've labeled them, black sheep, they belong. And in this world, where young people are beating each other to death, I submit to you, we need to demonstrate greater sense of belonging. See, if I belong to a larger family, like the Love and Stuff community family, if I belong to a larger family, like the LinkedIn community family, if I belong to a larger community, I will have some sense of pride, privilege, and responsibility for the upkeep of that community and the members in it. We've seen as far back as Cain and Abel that family members can do dastardly deeds to one another, right? But for the most part, if someone belongs to your family, you're going to do them well, speak well of them, and wish them well. And I would invite you to commit in this time and season to increasing in your family, as small or as large as it is, a sense of belonging. It's why I sent an invite to a number of cousins across platforms, because I come from a family where my dad was the youngest of 13. He was 12. I'm sorry, he was the youngest boy of 13. So it's number 12 of 13. And my mom was just about in the middle, I think number 7 of 13. They both came from large families. And I'm going to say most of their siblings had children. Very few of them had no children or one child. Many of them had 5, 4, 6, 13, 10. One had 10. One of my dad's siblings had 10. So large families, right? Even though my nucleus, that immediate family, became pretty small, right, over time. There are an enormous number of first cousins once removed, and second cousins once removed, and there and thus. That should feel a sense of belonging. And I'm committing even more and more to espousing, to fostering, to cultivating that sense of belonging in that family. And I want to do the same thing and hope that I am doing it the same in the Love and Stuff community and in the other communities, that people feel like they belong, they have a place, they have a space. And when people feel that they have a place and space, they bring to that family the best and truest parts of themselves. And that's what richly blesses the fabric of a family. When we can truly be who we are, the truest part and essence of ourselves with our family. That's what makes family so wonderful. You got that family member, I know you do, that you say, that's just him. Someone says, and he did that, sounds just like him. Good or bad, ugly or indifferent, you know the truest sense of him or her. And you accept it. You might not always agree with it, but you accept that this is who shows up in love in this person. It's not how I might have ordered the love package, but this is how love shows up in my family, in this individual. And you accept it. And hopefully you embrace it or help them face it if it's unhealthy in some way, right? So I want to invite you, almost challenge you to join me in challenging. I'm challenging myself and challenging you. Whomever you call family. And sometimes we go from family to community, and we use those interchangeably sometimes. So if you consider people in your community part of your family, or vice versa, I'm challenging us to increase the amount of love in the world through a sense of belonging. How you might do that? Number one, you might make it an affirmation. Make it something that you declare in the presence of those who are feeling lonely, alone, isolated, alienated, ostracized. You might say, hey, I wanted you to know how much you matter to our family. We might not disagree on ... but you matter. You're of value to our family. And I just wanted to let you know that you matter. It's one way you can do it. Declaring in the presence of that person, you belong to us. You'd be surprised at what that does to the esteem of someone who doesn't feel like they fit in anywhere and doesn't feel like they belong. When you sincerely call into their spirit, their heart, their emotion, their psyche, that, hey, you that seems to be that piece that doesn't fit in the puzzle, you belong here. That declaration opens them up and gives them the permission to be, because that's what we're called to do. We're, as you've heard Darren say and others, we're human beings. Before we're doing, we are being. You will give people more permission to be in your presence and in your community when you declare their acceptance. Why do you think fraternities, sororities, lodges are so powerful? Because they declare the acceptance of someone into the fold. And that belonging helps to reinforce your individual value and its impact on the collective value. So declare in someone's presence that they belong. The second thing I would say, I would hope that you would consider doing, is to make for yourself some kind of checkup for your family. You know, in our Love and Stuff community, we have a segment of our community that is focused on justice, for the love of justice. And a proud part of that collective is Brenda Braceful. And during, I'm not even sure if it's just during the campaign season, Brenda and her family had a weekly Zoom. They may still have a Zoom for other purposes, but they had a weekly Zoom where they just talked about voting and they just checked in. Every week, a check-in. Is everybody well? How are things going? You can check in with people all around the world, and this pandemic has made us realize that. We could before that, but we hadn't thought about it, right? Now we're virtual in a lot of ways. We're hybrid, we're remote. What about checking in with the people in your family to make sure that no one's straying from the family order, that everybody's connected to the familial structure by saying, hey, I see you going out to this way, but I just want to remind you, you belong to us. Hey, I'm proud of you. I see you over there. You're rocking it over there. You're making our name great. You belong to us. Hey, I'm just checking in with you. Haven't seen you on Facebook, haven't seen you, haven't talked to you on the phone, haven't gotten a text from you. I thought I would just check in and see how you're doing. I want you to be great now. You belong to us. It's instituting a check-in. You know, Darren talks about a love checkup. I want you to institute a love check-in. Do the people in your community know that you feel a sense of responsibility to reinforce their belonging? Does everybody in your family know that they belong? I'm challenging me and I'm challenging you to do the second thing. Not only declare in their presence that they belong, but on a regular basis, weekly, monthly, quarterly, every Tuesday, every Sunday, bi-weekly, check up on the love relationships in your life. When people feel like somebody's looking for them, they look forward to being the best of themselves and moving forward. If you ask me, hey, how's that business venture coming? I might go back and look at my business plan. The next time you ask me, hey, I went back and looked at my business plan and I think I could do this. Well, let me help you do this. I'm gonna check in with you. They check in again and say, hey, I'm working on that. It helps to move people forward because it seems that there's a forward momentum to belong to this. This is something worth belonging to. This is a family I want to belong to. This is a relationship I want to be in, because you're checking up on the love quotient. How well am I loving? How well am I giving love? How well am I being an agent of love? It's the love check-in. So not only are you going to declare it in their presence, and not only are you going to check in when someone belongs, you become in league with them for their success. You get behind them and push them. As I was saying earlier, I see you over there, attaboy. You began to pat them on the back. You began to encourage them and to motivate them and inspire them to be the very best that they can be, because if they're being their best, it represents the best of all of us in our family. Their pride becomes your pride. Their failures become your failures that you help to undergird to be lessons and blessings for their successes. Family support is so important. If you got what someone used to say, a cockamamie idea, you ought to be able to flush it out with your family, with someone who believes in you. Maybe they haven't seen the vision you've seen. They don't catch on to the idea. It doesn't make much sense to them, but they are connected and believe and affirm you. So they're willing to hear you out and help you think on it and help you work out the bugs and kinks, because it's going to bring success to you and it's going to bring highlight to the family to which they are connected. There's a vested interest. They've got a stake in your success. Family support powers and fuels belonging. See, in these Thanksgiving times, sometimes people and families say, I remember that day I had $20 in my jacket and I came to your house for dinner and I left the $20, so didn't leave with me. We hold on to negative experiences or things that we think are negative experiences, and we define our families and relationships by them. What if you let go of those negative experiences, except to pull the lesson from them, and you foster and cultivate positive ones in their place? Family is so very important. It's so worth you investing your time and space, and especially during the holidays. If you have family and you feel the courage, the movement to pour into relationships that may have been tattered or worn, it's a great time to do it. You don't have to do it at the table because giblet gravy might be tossed around, but you can do it one-on-one and say, hey, come on, let's reason together. Let's get this together. What's the part that you think I was wrong at? Here's the part I think you were wrong at. How do we make it right? And go about doing that very thing. I wanted to share those things with you. And as we come into the close of this hour, moving into the next hour, I'm inviting you to spend a little time with us in the Love and Stuff community as we share from some of the folks in the Love and Stuff community some wonderful things. And let's just see what we can share from this community. And I'm just checking. Thank you, those of you that are here with me on all platforms, LinkedIn Live, Facebook Live, Twitch TV, I see you there. YouTube events, I see you there. All right, I see you all there, and I'm trying to make sure we get this situated and set. I think we're almost there. Yes, I want to. Okay. Okay. Very good. All right. Fantastic. So I am going to share with you some of the wonderful, wonderful things that I think will be a wonderful, yes. All right, fantastic. All right, fantastic. I am sharing with you, we have had some wonderful creators within our community, and one of them is Richard Dickey Mason, who is also our brand ambassador for all of our Love and Stuff gear. You should go to Shopify and shop some of the stuff. I'm going to share from some of his work, and I hope that you will watch with me some wonderful shorts for the duration of our time. It's holiday movies at this time in the Love and Stuff community, and I hope that you will enjoy it.
I'm looking for Lieutenant Kane. My buddy of mine told me I could find her here. Sorry, I'm being rude. My name is Antonio Battle.
Okay.
Can I get those bags for you?
No, Antonio, Regina doesn't live here anymore. I mean, with a name like that, it sounds like she died decades ago, but that's none of my business. Okay? Have a good day.
I mean, well, that's funny because my buddy described you.
Really?
I mean, your build, your height. I mean, he said your hair might be different, but I mean, you're even driving a Toyota, and he said you would be somewhere between 25 and 30, and I mean, I wouldn't put you a day over 29.
Good old Sly.
Huh. The guy I talked to name was Lewis.
Sylvester Lewis, yeah. But he wouldn't send you here without a damn good reason, and he knows my price.
Oh, money's not a thing. I mean, I've got that. Whatever you charge.
No, baby, you're about as foolish as those empty $20 bills in your hand. You're here because you want something. You're longing for something and you can't find it or produce it on your own. Oh,
I mean, I'm trying to. I mean, I don't know how to put it into words.
well, hurry up so I can tell you no.
I want to find love. I mean, I'm ready to find love and be devoted.
Love potion number 9. I am so thankful for, there are so many fantastic artists, indie artists, who've allowed us to share their content on Love and Stuff, that are in the Love and Stuff community. So thank you, Richard Dickey Mason, for connecting us to such great content. I am just so appreciative, and I want to share more content with you on this Thanksgiving Eve. Another great, I'm sorry, another great movie called The First Date that I want to share with you, and I hope that you will enjoy it among many others.
I wonder if I pour some of this in here, some of this in here. Could be too strong. This one or this? No, that might be too much. Spicy for him. Yeah, that's the one. My booty look real good in this one. All right, set this up. Make sure. What the hell, girl? Oh, okay. I see it. Look at you, girl. I'm spinning. Okay. You look cute. Thank you. I do a little something. Oh, finally came, girl. I'm starving. Hey, so where you know this guy from? Oh, I met him at that one place that we went. We ain't go nowhere. I met him on Tinder. Oh, look, judgy. Okay, I don't need you judging me. There's some nice people on Tinder. No. He's like a really great guy. Man. He ain't no baller. Look, he got reservations at Burger King. You funny. You should take that on the road. Thank you, girl. You should take that on the road. You about to be real hot at McDonald's. On my nerves, girl. No, he got it. All right. His name is Mike. That's it. Like what? He just like Mike. A really sweet guy. Okay. The sweet ones is always the ones that's not themselves. Look, and he fine. Okay. Fine. Girl. Ooh. He is not my man. Okay. Not yet. Okay. Go get your son. I'll get her now. Damn, you beautiful. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. Who are you?
It's me, Mike. Mike from Tinder. So we're supposed to go on our date tonight.
No. You're not Mike.
Girl, you a crazy one for real. Look at this. What? See?
Yeah, that's my Mike.
No, that's Mike the third. I'm Mike the second. Yes, he's my younger brother. He just passed away, but that's me right there. And I'm right there. Oh, that's a good one. I mean, right back here. That's me over there. Yeah, sure. That's cool. That's me. And that one me.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good, but I do want to remind you, we got reservations.
Well, what am I gonna do? Girl, who is that? Think he's gonna drive to pick you up? Cause that is so romantic. No. Ain't no driver. That's him.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Oh my God.
The guy he showed me, that's his brother. Look, that's him. In the background of all the pictures. Focus, please. Help. Okay. Well, he already here and you already dressed. Oh, No. He lied to me, okay? About what? What he lied about? Him and all these pictures. Well, technically, he is in all the pictures. He's just in the background.
Loophole, man.
And I heard him say he had reservations. So shit, you ain't got nothing better to do. You might as well go ahead and hurry.
Yeah, I am kind of hungry.
I know you hungry. You might as well go.
You know what?
Just go.
I hate you.
Mhm.
That's real.
That's cool.
Just let you know that right now.
That's cool. I looked at her. I said hi. Little. Cass. Go, Cass. Little.
You ready? Let's go.
You here to pick something up or no?
Look, just trust me. Okay? Matter of fact, I'm gonna love it.
I know this nigga did not bring me to a chicken spot.
Hello, my pretty lady. Look, here's the table over here.
Oh, let me get your coat. I got you. Oh, that's nice. I got you. Yeah. You go ahead and see. Wait. Let's start with this. Hey, Sanchez, what you about these hot chairs, man?
Oh, don't worry about that. Let me get you some of these samples. Sample of the sauces.
Sure. Great.
Man, you work here or something?
No. Me and my brother used to come here.
Oh, okay. You got a reservation to a chicken joint?
This is more than a chicken joint. See, this place is Black Excellence. See that guy Sanchez? He got a few of these locations. Best chicken in the city of Detroit. It's more than just a chicken joint. Plenty of chicken joints, but this is a family. This is love. Now, sometimes he's too slow when it comes to bringing us our stuff. But whatever.
Got Foxy Brown and Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang! That's mine right there. I'm sorry about a little aggressive.
Calm down. Okay.
Like my Wu-Tang.
Buffed Up and Detroit River Gold. All right, that's the Damn Gina.
Damn.
I give you the crud and backwood. And that's the devil spit, and that's some fries.
Oh, that's for you. I don't do spicy.
You gonna do the spicy today though?
Well, excuse me.
Listen, I'll try it with you.
All right, fine. Same time.
Okay. Same time, deal. Ladies first.
Mm-hmm. Lord Jesus, help me.
Oh, you got it.
I'm scared.
Man, if you don't get you a bigger dip than that, look.
Don't
You really,
judge
you
me.
supposed to dip it. You ready? 1, 2, 3. See?
Oh, it's not that bad.
It ain't that bad. It ain't that bad at all. Oh,
You okay?
yeah, no. He kind of keep the heat up, kind of high here.
I feel fine.
Drink.
Oh,
I'm just trying to. No, girl, listen, it ain't.
and you
Ain't that hot at all. I just kind of.
talking about me?
No, it's just.
Sanchez, I think we need a bucket.
Oh, aha. No, see, I'm good. I'm okay. I had a dry mouth earlier.
Yeah, Keep telling yourself that. Whatever helps you sleep at night, boo.
No.
You do your thing.
Good.
Okay. Got a little extra perspiration there.
Said I don't wanna hurt nobody. Baby, I just came to have some fun. Put your body on my body. I swear that's the way you tell me, baby, it's okay. 'Cause I know you know I want you right. I know you know I want you right. Came through with the drip on. Knock, knock, is your bitch home? She put in work, I'ma give her what she wish for. If you boy got something to put them lips on, baby, what's the deal? Outfit on kill. Diamonds like your friends, yeah, they all wanna chill. Know I'm from the hood, know you all in the hills. Walk around in them hills, don't you fall off a pill. Trick so nasty with it, mix the rest with the classy with it.
Sanchez, can we get some napkins?
Can't hit it, whole team.
I'm sorry, it's not that I gotta yell at him. You know, my brother, he does that from time to time. All right, thank you.
It's a major key. NBA, don't you play with me, but if you want, I can change the league. Said I don't wanna hurt nobody. Baby, I just came to have some fun. Put your body on my body.
Oh, I have not eaten that much in so long.
Pretty good for a chicken joint, ain't it?
Hey, Sanchez, thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good one. I appreciate you, dog.
I'll work this one off.
What kind of workouts you be doing?
Play basketball till I feel better.
Oh, okay, I see you, Spud.
Spud. Spud where? Okay. Look at that dope.
Calling it like I see it. Look, my dad was a huge basketball fan. So I basically had no choice but to learn the game and all the history.
Okay, well, I'll teach you and your dad a thing or two.
I'm gonna tell him you said that.
Okay. Am I in trouble now?
No, but now I want to see that game. Yeah, you was a liar. And that joke was real good.
I know. Well, there you go.
Thank you.
And just give me 1 second, I'll be right back. Thanks, man. I appreciate this.
For sure. She's a keeper too, Mike. And she know I throw out some chicken. But seriously though, your brother be real proud of you.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate that.
Take care, man.
I'll come back tomorrow.
All right.
So,
You need to come in there, make sure everything's safe.
no, I think I can handle it.
Okay, I'm just checking.
Had a great time tonight.
Good. Me too.
Mhm.
Yes.
Look, I'm really sorry about the loss of your brother, but I really think you need to change that profile picture.
Okay, I'll take that. I'll work on that one. I'll work on that one.
Uh-huh. Yeah. You left the fucking short, but get your okay. All right.
Maybe you should get in there before you get in trouble.
Shut up.
I'm just saying.
This is a great first date.
Maybe I should start planning the second.
Maybe.
Okay. So I can work with a maybe. I can work with a maybe. Cool. Have a good night.
Good night.
If you thought it was big, sound like our chemistry, I think that I'm Bill Nye for you.
And that was Shad Moore's First Date. Excellent movie and short that I wanted to share with you on this Thanksgiving Love and Stuff's Thanksgiving Stuff with Love. And I am going to share another one called The Collector. This is Love and Stuff. And we are excited to be sharing with you some fantastic movies that we have here. I hope that you will enjoy them all. I love the work of Richard Dickey Mason. He does an outstanding job with inserting humor and taking a very simple situation, and I call it exploiting it. I wanted to share some of my favorite shorts from independent artists with you on this Thanksgiving Day. I hope that it has been an amazing day for you, and I hope that you've enjoyed all that we've offered all day long. It's been a wonderful day. And I'm going to share, I think, just one more short with you in the hopes that you will know that you can enjoy community, even though we are distributed across the globe, that you are not alone and that the Love and Stuff community is thinking about you and inviting you to connect with us during this time. So I believe we have one more short to share with you. And I hope that you will enjoy it and have enjoyed it. If you are enjoying this effort, I'm hoping that you will support the Love and Stuff community. There are many ways you can support us. You can purchase the Gratefulness Journey every day. What are you doing in the next 30 days to transform your life? I gotta get it right in front of me. It's available on Amazon. And as you know, Black Friday is tomorrow, and you can shop till you drop. And if you want to shop till you drop, you need to make a stop by Amazon. The second place you can support us is at the Shopify store. We have gear, Love and Stuff product, Pandemic Love product. We have Sports Talk with Kamau and Felix products, sweatshirts and hoodies that you can get. All of that's available in the Shopify store. And all of that helps to continue our efforts to increase the amount of love in the world. And if you are looking to make a move as you see the labor market is tightening, and that we are entering in a recessive pattern, that employers are going to be on the look for top talent. If you want to present yourself as top talent, I've got a coaching on demand series just for you. It also includes helping you get that job, get the offer that you deserve, and live the life that you deserve to live. All of these things will be available for you on Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, and through Cyber Monday. And I hope that you will support the Love and Stuff community. It helps us to continue to support a community that increases the amount of love in the world through its efforts. So we'll go to the next short, and I'll be back shortly after that. Pun intended, I think. Pun intended. Again, Richard Dickey Mason is a phenomenal talent and gift, and we are just honored that he is a part of the Love and Stuff community. And again, he is our brand ambassador for the Love and Stuff community. We hope that you will go to our Shopify site, and hopefully you will find some gear there that will be of, we believe in living the brand you wear, wearing the brand you live, and living the brand. And if you subscribe to that and you're all about love, the Love and Stuff community would love for you to take part in our brand. And I'm just going to show you some of the items in the catalog in the hopes that you will consider making a purchase, which helps, of course, our Love and Stuff community to do all of the things that we do to increase the amount of love in the world. As you can see, the newest addition are the Sports Talk with Kamau and Felix, our sports show that happens every other Saturday, which is, by the way, happening this Saturday, the 26th at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And their newest product is the hooded sweatshirt. You can purchase that. You can even use your shop pay and purchase it in 4 easy installments if you choose to do that. Of course, we have our 6-pack t-shirt that we revealed this summer. We realized that on this journey of self-care that we might have some extra handles. And so this shirt says I got a 6-pack. It's just still in the package. And so that's one of the shirts to help us get up and get mobile and moving in our self-care. Of course, we have the tote bags, Gratefulness Journey every day, and the Love and Stuff. We also have the fitted polyester mask as well. And so a number of different items that we have that are available to you in the Love and Stuff community and beyond. And just, other items that we have. Of course, we'll have special gift boxes this year that you want to give to those that may be in need as well. So we want you to shop till you drop. And if you're doing that, make a stop. We even have the Gratefulness Journey everyday gear and the baby jersey bodysuit. So if you want your little ones to start out the Gratefulness Journey right now, they can do it with the Gratefulness Journey bodysuit. So many different things to enjoy in the Love and Stuff community. And we are just excited to have the opportunity to share that gear with you. We're very intentional about the gear that we put out, and we believe that our brand has a message, and we hope that you will help us to get the message out, to share with others the message of love, the message of joy, the message of hope, the message of peace, and the message of gratefulness. And so one last video that we have, it's called Possessive, and it is another piece by Dickey Mason Productions, our brand ambassador. And I hope to use it to help you think about Thanksgiving as a fun time, a movie time, a time of connectedness and togetherness. And we're grateful in the Love and Stuff community that you've joined us. It's our last showing of the night, and I will be back just after that to bid you a wonderful night. I hope that you've enjoyed it, and I think you will really enjoy this movie called Possessive. It's again a Dickey Mason feature from his production company, and he is an awesome actor, and we thank him for allowing us to share this along with the other indie artists who have allowed us to share their material. It's called Possessive. What an awesome gift and talent Richard Dickey Mason is to the Love and Stuff community and the world at large. Thank you for that that movie Possessive, and all of the short films. Congratulations to these indie artists for the great work that you're putting out there, that families like the Love and Stuff community and those connected there too can enjoy. I hope that you've enjoyed some time from noon until 8. We had a bit of silent space and a hiccup or two, but our heart is to share this Thanksgiving time with you. Those of you that may not have anyone to share Thanksgiving with or just wanted to feel like you belong. Well, in the Love and Stuff community, you do. I invite you to go to the Love and Stuff community page on the Facebook platform, click follow, and then go under groups and click inside Love and Stuff, and you will be connected to an extraordinary group of people, all with this in common. We want to increase the amount of love in our world, in your world, and in the world at large. I'm Marcus Holmes, the love activist. I am advocating for your better love in life, starting with the love of the quintessential love, self-love, and the love of others. And I hope that this Thanksgiving, you will commit to ensuring that you increase the amount of people that belong in your love space, that you will declare to them that they belong, that you will have frequent and regular, love checkups, check-ins rather, and that you will understand that family support is important. It's been a grateful day, and I hope that it's been a good day for you as well. Take great care of yourselves and have a grateful rest of your evening and weekend.